What is going on, everybody? It's Cameron. Welcome back to the review for Spider-Man 2099, and this is issue 9. So in the previous issue we saw Spider-Man go absolutely crazy, raging over everybody, and overall it was an awesome issue. If you saw my review, I absolutely loved it. And this issue is more or less an extension of the previous one. You know, you get to pick up pretty much directly from where the previous issue left off, and it's all about Miguel coping with pretty much the love of his life being taken away from him by the mother, and him kind of getting over that and trying to figure out why. Now, before we get into this review, some of you guys have been asking where I've been for the last 2 weeks. Well, I was in Tenerife for 10 days and there was literally hardly any internet at all, so I couldn't upload any videos or anything like that. And so what I advise is, if you follow me on my Twitter, then you'll hear about what's going on with my videos, what videos are going up next, and obviously where I've been or what's happening, etc. And of course you get giveaway codes on there as well. So yeah, I advise you guys to follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Now, enough of that, guys. Let's stop blabbing on and let's get into this review. Okay, so we're getting into the issue, and it opens up with Miguel sat next to Tempest's bedside, and something that I was really surprised about was that Tempest doesn't know that Miguel is Spider-Man. So he's sat next to her, talking to her, almost like he's revealing that he's Spider-Man to her. Now, obviously, if you remember, in I think it was the previous series of Spider-Man 2099, before Secret Wars, Tempest actually figured out that Miguel was Spider-Man. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't actually think she revealed that she knew that he was Spider-Man, so I'm a little bit wavery on the details, but yeah. As you can see, it still seems like Miguel has some unfinished business, and the bad Spider-Man rage mode still hasn't gone away, and he actually goes back down to track Mad Mountain Marko, because he's possibly the only lead to figuring out where Tempest's mother is, and figuring out why she lied to him and why she hid Tempest from him in the first place. Now, something that I think separates Spider-Man 2099 from the Amazing Spider-Man comics is the fact that Spider-Man 2099, I'd say, has a little bit more of a brutal attitude overall, and of course Spider-Man 2099 has all this futuristic tech, such as Lila, who's on his wrist. So just as you saw there, he can tell that people are lying to him and all those crazy things like that. And it's actually really interesting to see, because the Amazing Spider-Man kind of does things a little bit of the old-fashioned way. And I think one of my favourite parts of this comic was when Spider-Man was breaking Marko's fingers. And I say this because that's kind of suggesting that Spider-Man is not messing around. He just wants to find Tempest's mother. He's getting straight to the point, and he already knows that Marko is kind of this guy that's not going to say anything. He's not going to kind of grass on his employer or anything like that. He's not going to reveal the information straight away, and Spider-Man knows this, so he just goes straight in there, breaking fingers, breaking bones, showing Marko who's the boss in this situation. And I think it was actually inevitable that this was going to happen, but in this comic, Spider-Man begins to beat the living crap out of Marko, and I love how the fight begins between Marko and Spider-Man, with Spider-Man telling Marko how he shouldn't have brought innocence into this, and it's between those two, the villain and the superhero, and nobody else. And if you look at the art style of the comic, obviously the art is perfect. It's always so good in these Spider-Man 2099 comics, but when Spider-Man starts to lose himself in this rage, when he starts to actually lay into Marko, not holding back, the pages and the panels just become red, and obviously that's to signify rage and anger coming from Spider-Man. And I especially loved how Spider-Man kind of realised what was going on, and the panel kind of zoomed out a little bit, and you just saw this chaos lying in front of Spider-Man, showing you what he's actually done to this person. And obviously Spider-Man has rules, he has regulations of his own. Now, as Spider-Man's flying away, we also get to see Marko talking about him knowing people, and he's not going to let this go, so I'm assuming that something in the future is going to come back after Spider-Man 2099, and it's going to hit him pretty hard. You know, something along the lines of them maybe kidnapping Tempest or something like that. Basically, Spider-Man's just made an enemy, and it's a big one. So anyway, moving on throughout the comics, Spider-Man actually infiltrates Tempest's mother's house, and I totally didn't expect her to be this old. I'm pretty sure she looked younger when we saw her the first time a couple of issues ago, or maybe it's because she's got a little bit of a different hairstyle or something, I'm not too sure. But the crazy thing is that she has powers. Out of the blue, Spider-Man went in there, and this kind of took him by surprise, and I think it took you by surprise as the audience as well. Well, it did, at least me reading the comic. But something that I didn't expect was that Tempest's mother actually doesn't mean to do any of these things. It's more or less a defense mechanism. She can't exactly control it as much as she'd like to. Spider-Man also addressed that he definitely does not want to kill Tempest's mother, and let's just put ourselves in that situation for a second. Imagine if he actually killed her mother. I can't actually think of any worse situation to lose your girlfriend than doing that. Now, obviously Tempest doesn't like her mother, but just because she doesn't like her doesn't mean that her boyfriend can kill her. So I think if Spider-Man 2099 did actually kill her mother, then Tempest would probably kill him, and then it would just be a total mess. Now, coming up towards the end of the issue, we see Tempest's mother actually talk about her ex-husband that she murdered because he had intimate photos of Tempest on like his camera surveillance or something like that. Basically, he put cameras in Tempest's room and it's pretty messed up. But something that I could see forming between Spider-Man and Tempest's mother was a sort of understanding and a friendship, because in a way Tempest's mother was actually trying to protect Miguel because she was afraid that Tempest would have the same powers as her. So really, Tempest's mother was being cruel to be kind. Now, coming up to the final few pages of the issue, we join the villain Queek, who came through the portal from 2099 a few issues ago and actually escaped from Spider-Man 2099 and Captain America 2099 after he was recruited by a woman called Aza, I think it was, and she actually works for an organization known as The Fist, who's going to make the world a better place. Now, as you can see on screen, they have found and recruited Gloriana, who's in the past few issues of this series, and she's actually a brand new Inhuman who basically has the powers of the gods. So this is very, very bad, and I actually love how the issue ended on that, because it's kind of foreshadowing what's to come in the future. Like, what does the Fist actually have planned to make the world a better place? It's getting a little bit crazy, but hopefully we find out soon. So guys, that is it for this review. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10. Spider-Man's rage was awesome to see, and I just love how the art kind of changed to how his rage was like being put into this character. And of course, that friendship, that kind of understanding at the end of the comic between Spider-Man and Tempest's mother, that was awesome to see. Not to mention the inclusion of the amazing Spider-Man Peter Parker. I thought his suit actually looked pretty awesome in this comic. So yeah guys, what did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for comic code giveaways, information on what videos are going up next. The link is in the description. And don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page for all the latest in comic book news and updates. And if you want, you can follow me on Instagram. You can see a picture of all the comics that I have recently just bought to catch up on. But yeah guys, don't forget, hit the subscribe button for more, hit the like button, and I will see you all next time.
Sometimes you gotta stay